Here is a step-by-step tutorial on 2 really easy strategies that will help you rank up super fast if you're new to the game. Yo, what's good guys? We are going to go over 2 super easy strategies to rank up really fast. Now this is for newer players. These type of videos always get a ton of search results, so it's not really for the subscribers who really play the game and already are like in Hall of Masters and already know what they're doing. This is for all the newbies out there. For the first strategy, we have meta. I get asked in my server or in my stream, in my server, in the videos all the time, what is meta? People ask that question to me every single day. So let's just go over that right away. We have tack, we have farm, we have the wizard. This is the main strategy in the game right now. This is what's considered meta. This is the best strategy, and in my opinion, it is the easiest way to rank up. So if you guys don't like tack, if you guys don't like farm, if you guys don't like this current combination, we'll have a second strategy towards the second part of the video that you guys can go check that out. It's completely different, and it's 2 different kind of stories. But I suggest using this one. It is super easy. I know a lot of people, they kind of seem like intimidated by the farm, and they don't like using the farm, but trust me guys, it is super easy to learn, and you don't need to know like the most optimal meta farming path because most of your games are going to end pretty early anyway. But we are going to start with the eco. We're going to be spaced ecoing, which means the last balloon that comes out is what we're going to be using. We were using red in the beginning, then we started using blue, now we're using yellow, and now we're using pink. So when we do that and we get up enough money for the farm, we're going to get that up. The farming is going to be super simple and super easy. I will explain every step of the way of everything I am doing. So even if you're completely new to the game, you don't really know what's going on, if you follow the tutorial, you should be able to win most of your games. So we're going to get our farm down, we have our tack down, we have a 1-3-0 tack, and on round 5 we are going to upgrade this to a 2-3-0 tack. So now we have 1-0-0 farm and we have a 2-3-0 tack. So that is going crazy over here. We're going to start sending some whites. Remember, the last balloon that comes out, that is what we are going to be using, and then we are going to upgrade our farm for a second time on round 5 or 6 right here to greater production. So we have the tack going crazy. We have Quincy. Quincy, in my opinion, is the best hero for the strategy. You will see a lot of people using Jericho with this strategy, but Quincy, in my opinion, is so much easier. He helps defending so much, and it's available to every single player since everybody has him. So in my opinion, I would use Quincy on this strategy, but if you're feeling a little feisty and you have Jericho, you can go ahead and use him if you want. We're on round 6. We have $1,000. We are going to get down our second farm. And guys, I see a ton of newer players spending a lot of money to not leak. Leaks don't really matter, guys. You can lose a few lives. As long as you're above, like, I'd say 70 lives, you're going to be completely fine. So don't worry if a few balloons slip past. Don't worry if a few camos slip past. It's all, like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the game as long as you win. So the balloons are going to slip past a little bit. Don't be spending large amounts of money to defend it. It's going to be completely fine. So now that we're at 500 eco, we passed 500 eco by a little bit. We're actually going to stop ecoing. We're not going to need eco anymore for the rest of this game. We have our farms and we have our tower defenses here, so we're going to have plenty of money. We're going to stop ecoing at around 500. Some maps you want to go a little bit above, some maps you want to go a little bit below, but for the most part, stop at 500. After you get 500 eco, we're going to get up a wall of fire wizard, and we're going to get a bottom path wizard. So a 0-2-2 wizard, and we can get up shimmer when we need, and we're just going to get necromancer as soon as we can afford it. It should be around round 10. You want to try and get it up before round 11. And you can see my opponent, he's getting a little bit feisty. He's rushing me. If you get overwhelmed, you can use your Quincy ability, or you can use a boost. Don't be afraid to use either one of those. You have plenty of them, and your ability comes back super fast. And now at the end of round 10, we're going to have enough money for our necromancer. Now pay attention, guys. This part of the game is the hardest part. If you survive this round, you should be good to go. If they send you a medium, the small rush, you can boost, you can use your Quincy ability, and you should be good. But if they send you a large rush, you have to get up your blade maelstrom. However, for the most part, if you're below 70 trophies, guys, just press the K button and send some purples. 99% of the time, they will end up dying. This guy, however, he's actually using mortar and boomer, and it seems like he's a little bit experienced in what he's doing, so he's actually not going to die. He is going to leak a little bit, but he's not going to die. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to go into plan B. If they don't die to purples, we're going to go to plan B, and that means we're going to start upgrading our farms. So we're going to get 2 plantations first to start us off. We get a 3-2-0 farm, and we're going to get 1 more of that over here. Now remember, guys, a lot of the time you're going to get rushed. I'm not getting rushed right now, but if you are getting rushed, remember, first, use a boost and use your Quincy ability if it's a small rush. But if it's a big rush, you're going to want to get money somehow, maybe selling one of your farms, maybe you just have it on hand, but you want to get money for a Maelstrom and you're going to use that. And that is going to defend most of the rushes. But now we're just chilling. We have 500 eco per usual. We have our 2 plantations, and now we're going to get 2 bottom path farms. So we're going to get one more farm, and this time it is going to be a 203 instead of a 320, okay? So we're going to get up the marketplace on this one, and the plan now, guys, the plan now is just to survive until round 22, and then that is where we are going to kill him. Moabs are out now, and he could rush you with the Moabs. A lot of the time they just play super passive like this guy is, but if they decide to rush you with Moabs, guys, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get down the second attack, you are going to get 2-0, and then you're going to get the overdrive, so 2-0-4. The overdrive should help you defend most Moabs. You can, remember, use your boost anytime you need. Don't forget your Quincy abilities, and this overdrive should help you defend most Moabs all the way up until round like 20. If they send you a whole bunch of Moabs, maybe you're going to need to get up a second overdrive. Maybe you're going to need to get up like a second wizard or whatever, but for the most part, you should be fine. I can't tell you guys how to defend every single variation of every single rush, because that's just impossible, but for the most part, use your tax to defend the Moabs. And if you need help defending like the insides, your wizard and the maelstrom and everything, that should help you out. But we have done our 4 farms. Now what we're going to do is we're going to save up for a central market, and then it will be go time. So he has actually pretty good defenses. He didn't die to the round 11 rush, which is always plan A. Always send them the round 11 purple rush, and 90% of the time, if they're below 70 trophies, they'll just die to that. But this guy, he's in the lucky percent, and he didn't die to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get up a central market now, and we are just going to wait until round 22, and then I guarantee you guys he will die there. Now, I haven't had to boost, I haven't had to use my Quincy abilities, but remember, guys, do not be stingy with these abilities. Use them anytime you're in trouble. I'm going to use mine right there, especially with your boost. 99% of the games you play, you're never going to use all 3 of your boosts, and your abilities come back super fast. So do not be afraid to use them. He's struggling a little bit to this Moab. It seems like he's going to be fine in the end, but he did struggle a little bit, and now, guys, it is go time. Now it is time to kill him. If you followed the steps correctly and you didn't need to spend too much money on defending or anything, you should have about 20, or you should have about $15,000 in the bank, maybe a little less, and you're going to send a fortified ZOMG on round 22. I had to use my Quincy ability there too. Remember, guys, just don't be afraid to use your abilities, and right when you send that, I'm going to send another one unfortified. So we have 2 ZOMGs heading towards him, and I'm going to bloom boost right away. Do not forget about your bloom boost, guys. A lot of people forget about your bloom boost. We're also getting pushed on balloons quite a bit, so I'm going to use my Quincy ability. I'm actually just going to boost right here because I want to make sure I don't die to this, so we're just going to give him a boost. Now that the ZOMGs have gotten pretty far, we're going to sell all of our farms, and we're going to send about $20,000 worth of fortified BFB. So send a huge rush until you have about $10,000 left, and this $10,000 that you have right here, you're going to be using to defend. Okay, wow, so I was right. Most of the time they don't do what's called a counter and send you like stuff when you send them rushes at the same time, but since this guy did counter, it is good that we have this extra money because we can use that to defend this BFB while at the same time he's dying over there to that ZOMG. So we're going to hit this guy with a boost. We're going to make sure we have enough money to defend this, and remember to keep using your bloom boost, guys. A lot of people forget to use them, but pretty much just spam this button and he should go down pretty quick. Let's use our Phoenix ability, let's use our Quincy abilities, and we defend that super easily. Him, on the other hand, he's not defending a single thing. He is going to go down as easy as that, guys. He's going to die to the ZOMG, so either round 11 purple rush or round 22 ZOMG rush. Super basic. It works every single time, pretty much every time, you know. And now let's go on to the second strategy in case you guys don't like that one. Alright, boys, what's good? So we have our second strategy here. We have boomerang, ice, submarine. This is for the people who went in eco strategy. They don't want to be dealing with farm. This strat is perfect for you. So first, we're going to start with 2 boomerangs. I like to send some reds in the beginning and then switch straight to blues. Now, this strategy uses Oben, so if you guys don't have Oben, I think that is a good secondary hero to unlock once you get down the initial like Quincy and Gwen and everything. So I would go ahead and like get Oben down as soon as possible. So we have the 2 boomerangs. We're going to start out by the same thing, spaced ecoing here until we get down the glaive ricochet. Then we're going to be a little bit more greedy with the eco. So it seems like this guy over here, daily poop play, that's a weird name, but it seems like he's going to be using the same strategy that we were using last game, almost the same strategy, maybe a different hero or something. Once we get to $1,000, we're going to sell our second boomerang and get up the glaive ricochet. So now we're chilling. Sometimes you have to boost around this area if they're sending you like yellows and it's a super short map or something. You guys, like, I can't tell you what to do in every single situation. Like, you're going to have to use your common sense a little bit. Sometimes you have to boost, sometimes you have to get down the second like tower. I don't tell you guys to. You guys have to like learn the game a little bit by yourselves and do it, but this is like the main blueprint. So we're going to get down our Oben as soon as possible. Round 3 Oben and our boomerang. We're looking good. Now, the next upgrade we're going to get on our boomerang, a lot of people actually have this confused. Both upgrades are good, but you're actually going to want to get down the bottom path, red hot rains. So it may seem like the middle path is better in this situation, and I know it does seem like that, but the bottom path is actually way better. It does more damage, which makes up for the slower throw, and it can pop lead balloons. So the bottom path is definitely the way to go. Notice how we're no longer using the last balloon that comes out. We're just using blues this entire time. We're going to be using grouped eco now, which means the ones that have the double balloons on the picture, you can use pretty much either one of those. And you're going to want to get your eco up as much as possible this game, unlike the last game where we only waited until 500 eco. So we got up our red hot rains so we can start popping the whites, and this guy, like we said, is using the tack farm. We're going to have a little bit of a different strategy beating him this time, so we should be good for now. We don't really need to do anything for these next couple rounds, just eco. We're going to start using black balloons now all the way up until round 10. Just make sure you have up this boomerang, make sure you have your Oben, and you're putting down your brambles, and we're just going to eco up and see you guys in a few rounds. Nothing really exciting happens in these rounds. You're going to be a little more patient with this strategy. Alright boys, we're coming up on round 9, so what we want to do now is we want to get up more glaives. You should have around 600 eco on round 9 like we do, so we're going to get up the more glaives, and now we have to do something else that's super important that you cannot forget. We need to get up our camo. So let's get up our sub right in the beginning of the map, and we're going to just get the top path on here. We don't really need to get too much up. We have 650 eco. You need to make sure you have the camo up by round pretty much 11. Aim to get it up by round 11, and now we can just keep ecoing. The difference between this strat and the first one is we're going to be ecoing the entire time. So find a set of eco that you like. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the same exact one as me. On round 11, I go blues most of the time, and then I transition into rainbows for round 12 only. So, I mean, the eco doesn't really matter too much around these parts. Just make sure you're ecoing with something, because you want to keep getting your eco up, and remember to keep putting your brambles down too. Now, you have 3 boosts. Remember, if they send you like a humongous rush, you use your boost. You have ice, which is for later, and then you have the boomerang, which is going hard right now. If they send you a huge rush and you have money, you can get up a reactor. You can get up, I mean, maybe even a bottom path ice if you want that to help you, but pretty much just be ecoing this entire time. And this is what we like to call a reactionary strat. That's not like a legit term. I kind of just made that up for the strategy, but I like to describe the strategy as a reactionary strategy. So pretty much what we are going to do is we are going to be saving up and ecoing this entire time. And then the second they send us any kind of Moab balloon, we are going to hit them back with everything we have and pretty much just all out them. This strategy, it's not really the same as the other strategy where you have plenty of money to like round 11 rush them, round 13 rush them, send them plenty of Moabs and stuff like that. We are just going to wait for the next few rounds until round 20-ish. And then if they send us anything, we are going to send them a pretty big rush. But it looks like they're pretty passive right now. It doesn't look like they want to rush us too much. So we're just going to save up and get down, I think, some Moab defense. Now, remember, boys, you have to make sure you have some money. On shorter maps like this, you can take breaks from ecoing like we're about to do. And you can get down a secondary tower that is going to help you with Moabs on round 17. So we have about 1.2k eco. We're going to stop ecoing until round 17. So we have enough money in case these It doesn't look like he really wants to send us anything, so we're going to continue our eco, have this second boomerang down. We want to keep a bunch of money in the bank in case he starts rushing us. We have time to get everything up. And remember, guys, if you see any kind of boon or anything right now, just use your boost. Like, there's no point in saving your boost. I promise you guys, you will win way more games if you, like, if you just spam your boost whenever you need it rather than trying to save them all up for the perfect opportunity. You don't really need to do that. So he has plenty of farms now. Now I think is going to be a good chance to rush him since he has plenty of farms. Let's send a fortified Moab. Pay attention to this rush, guys. Fortified Moab. We're going to do some camo leads, some camo rainbows, some zebras, and some what are these called, purples. He's actually going to be rushing me at the same time, so we're going to balloon boost his rush and boost ourselves, and he's just going to go down. Let's play one more game and try and show the strategy even more, since this one was a little bit too fast, too easy, as most of your games will be if you follow the guide. Alright, what's good, boys? We're going to play one more game with the second strat here. We're not going to go through it as in detail as the other game, so we're just going to play it normally, see how it works out, and it should be quick and easy just like the last game. Even though this is an eco strategy, it's a little bit of a longer strategy. But for the most part, if you guys follow the directions, if you're using farm, make sure the round 11 purple rush, send them some purples, and they should die if they're below 70 trophies. But if they don't die, make sure to move on to plan B, which is the fortified ZOMG rush, which I did in the second game. So make sure they just follow those options, or maybe the first game. I don't even remember a game I did it in, but for the most part, the games are different, guys. They're going to be different things in every single game. Every game is unique, so I can't give you the base to follow for every single scenario in every single game. If you watch Hall Masters players right when you're new to the game and try and copy everything they do without really understanding the basics, I feel like that's not going to take you too far, and following these kind of easier tutorials that's more down to earth in your speed, I think it's definitely the better way to learn the game. Once you guys master this and you get to like ZOMG Arena or whatever, then watching Hall Masters players play and trying to learn the more in-depth tutorials and all that is probably the way to go. But if you're below ZOMG Arena and you're struggling to win your games, I think these kind of tutorials that are super basic are definitely the way to start out. Now remember, boys, rushing is always the best way to win the game. A lot of newer players, they think playing passive and like rushing secondary as a secondary way to win is the better way to go. But if you guys saw my last two games, we always had a plan to rush. We weren't really waiting for them too much to like go to round 30, or I was scared to rush him because he wasn't rushing me. If you're going to rush, that is the best way to win the game. So make sure to always have a plan to rush, and don't just sit there and try and defend round after round after round, because eventually you will die to one of those things that he sends you. So just have a plan to rush. The purples, the ZOMGs, regular like round 19 Moabs, those are all really good rounds to rush with, and that is definitely the way to play the game. More aggressive, you will definitely get more wins in the lower arenas. Alright, we have skipped all the way to round 11, so even though we're using an eco strategy, we're going to follow the same advice. We don't have that much money right now, so it's probably not going to kill him, but we're going to send him plenty of purples. It's not going to kill him, but it does get him to afford a few upgrades and everything, so it does limit his money. But we have pretty much the same setup as the last game. We have our camo, we have our more glaze, we have our little farmer and everything back here. Our Oben is all the way on level 6, so we're pretty much just going to be chilling, ecoing all. We can't really do much right here. With eco strategies on round 12 all the way up until round like 17, you're going to be pretty broke. So all you're going to do is just sit here, just AFK pretty much, and eco. That's all eco strategies are. With the farms, you definitely want to rush a little bit more and be a little more aggressive, but with the secondary eco strategies, you're going to be in for longer games, and in my opinion kind of more boring games, because you're just going to sit here and not do anything. I didn't really explain what the ice was for in the last game because we didn't make it that far, but the ice is one of the cheapest DDT defenses in the game. So if you're going to round 26 and you want to get down some cheap DDT defense so you don't die, you get down the ice and you get down the top path and the bottom path. I believe it is 204, and that should, or 205 maybe, and it will absolutely destroy any kind of DDTs. That slows them down. It allows your other towers to attack them. So that is what the ice is for on the strategy. But for the most part, if you're playing it correctly, you shouldn't even get that far, because you should kill them before round 26 90% of the time. Now, one thing I'm going to do here, if you're playing a hard strategy, like a good late game strategy that you think is going to defend everything, we're actually going to stop ecoing at 1.5 eco. So we're on round 17, we're actually going to completely stop ecoing, and we are just going to save up for the next few rounds here and send him a mega rush and kind of just hope for the best. That's really all you can do in situations like this. When you're playing a super late game strategy like Dartling Alchemist with no farm, you don't want to be caught up in a 40 round game. So we're just going to sit here and save up and then send him some ZOMGs in the next few rounds. Here we go, guys. It is go time. It is round 21. We've been saving up the entire time. We have $21,000. Oh, okay. It actually looks like he wants to rush us. So let's take care of that real quick. It is time to send the fortified ZOMG. Our trees are going to make us a bunch of money. We easily clean that up. And oh, wow, look at this. We actually get a rush in return. So one really good thing about this strategy, guys, is you have something called a first strike on your submarine here. So we're just going to use this ability real quick, get it a little bit weakened, and then we can take this ZOMG out in only one hit. It's actually super crazy. So let's weaken this up a little bit. Let's send him one more ZOMG. I was going to first strike this, but you know what? Forget the first strike. It's completely fine. We're just going to go ahead and kill this guy. So don't forget your balloon boost. We're going to boost just to make sure we don't die to any of these ceramics or anything, and we are just going to send him the biggest rush of all time. We're not too worried about the ZOMG. The game will be way like over a long time before it kills us, and there we go. As simple as that, guys. So let me know if you liked the tutorial. Make sure to sub. We're almost at 10k. Sorry, Casterus, I had to take you out.